I want to go back to first, just using it more in general as a term of, how likely something is to happen or that kind of thing. And I want to do that first to suggest that I've found it personally. I used to be the type of person who, I still am so to a degree because you can never kick it, but like who's always prepared for something, who always, needs things to go a certain way. Okay, I'm planning it out. It's got to go this way. I want this to happen. I want that to happen. It always had to be, this is going to happen. Otherwise, like I'm screwed. And then I'd feel the weight of that. Whereas when I finally realized that, hang on, there is no certainty that things are going to go the way that I plan out, the way that I see it. It's always just a confidence level. So when I restructured the way I perceive the world based off of that, now when I do something and it doesn't work out, it's like, it's all right. That was always an option. So like it helps to keep me more calm, more peaceful, like let things just happen, be more comfortable with uncertainty. So the main reason I wanted to present confidence in a sense of, okay, how likely we feel something is to happen is to also, if you can train yourself to see the world and to see events in that light, it kind of helps you when they don't go the way that you planned, because you're like, okay, that was always an option. I was always prepared that could happen, and I'd taken that into account. So do you feel that's like an interesting way to look at the world, or a helpful way to look at the world?
I don't know. From a very early age, I don't know why this is the case. I think I had a lot of independence as I grew up. So like as a kid, I was allowed to do a lot of things. So to me, I've always seen whatever I do as a journey. So I've never actually had the concept that I'm going to get it right, kind of thing. So I'll get it so whenever I approach an experience, I just see that, okay, I'll be better than what I was when I started. So, and by doing that way, I think I've had a lot of confidence in able to do things, because the fact that I'm going to fail is always there. So it's always like, oh, I'm going to fail it. I can't get 100% right. Like whatever you do, it's even now as a professional, like if I do something professional that I know really, really well, and there's enough steps in it, one of those steps is just my focus or whatever will happen, me being a human being, that one of those steps will be wrong. So I always have the concept of, you're sort of 70, 80% there kind of thing. If you're really good at something, you might be 90%. You're never going to be 100%. So, I guess I've approached it from a little bit different view, in that I think that idea about being prepared, that's very important too. So like there's a lot of people who'll just take risk. And I probably did this at a younger age, where I just threw myself into something I had no idea about, and I'll just take it straight off the bat. And just put my head in and go, oh, well, what's the worst that could happen? I'm not going to die. So I'm only going to make a fool of myself or hurt myself or whatever. As I got older, I realized, okay, yeah, it's good to actually put a bit of thought in before you do something. I just put enough thought in that I go, all right, well, that's the practical time I can spend in order to think about this thing. Now it's time to actually do it. And I think that that's what I've got better at, I guess, when I was younger, because of the way I approached maybe failure or just doing activities. I didn't give myself enough time to really think through something. So it was always something I remember at school, like got a lot of potential, but just rushes through things or does those things. Because for me, it was just getting all different experiences. If it's the same experience, I'm like, oh, well, this is boring. I need to do something new. So just rush through it and get something new. But now these days I realize that it's important to actually sit with something over a period of time, because not only do you think about it more, you actually come back at it from different perspectives. So how I think about something today will change by tomorrow. And I think by having enough of those different moments where I see it from different perspectives, it prepares myself for something. And then I've thought it from a few different angles. And then when I go do it, at least I've actually a bit prepared, I guess, than rather than just jumping in on the day.